Hi, everybody. This is Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing, and you're joining the Power to Sing live broadcast. And thank you very much for joining me now. Those of you who are joining later, please enjoy the recorded video broadcast. I'm Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing, and this is the broadcast number 2. I hope that it's there are fewer bubbles this time than we had last time. But so let's talk about understanding vocal types. So what is a vocal type? Why is it important? How can knowing your vocal type help your singing? This reminds me, last time I was broadcasting live, I had some YouTube viewers, and I didn't realize that there were comments. So now that I'm thinking of it, I want to go to my channel on my other station here. Hold on just a second. My other monitor, and I'm going to bring that up so that I can watch. I want to be able to get my live broadcast questions going here. So hold on just a second so I can answer your questions. So this is going to take just a second. Well, while my mind is percolating on that, let's talk a bit about the vocal type and what it is we're really talking about. So what's a vocal type? I'm not talking about whether you're a soprano, alto, tenor, or bass. You've heard me say that before. Or a coloratura soprano, or a lyric tenor, or other designations, whose primarily those designations fit in with the classical and opera genres. I'm talking about what you tend to do when you sing through the vocal bridge. And for the men, generally speaking, the first vocal bridge is the E above middle C. Here's a middle C, and right about there we start feeling it in a major way. For the women, it's the A above middle C. Generally speaking, these are the beginning of the first bridge for bass or baritone tenors, and basically all the women's voices. Where this is an exception, we won't go into that too much today, are the true basso profundo, basso cantate voice, the very deep voice with a lot of lower resonance in it, and the contralto female singer. So the contralto is what you would call a very low alto voice. Their bridges are different. We're going to talk about that today because most of us are in this upper area. Now, so a vocal type is what you tend to do when you go through that area of your voice. Let me see if I can find, excuse me. I'm going to try and find where I can view my live comments. And so I'm going to go to live streaming on my other monitor and see if I can find, here we go, okay. All right. Oh, great. So it looks like Christina, hello. Patrick, hi. How long have I been singing? Forever. I mean, when I was a kid, I would walk through the house singing. And I'll show you what I was doing because my father reminded me of this. My father, who is 93 years old now, he said I would walk through the house, and I remember singing, Yankee Doodle went to London riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni and cheese. And I thought those were the right words. So I've been singing ever since I can remember. But and then in high school I sang in junior high, grade school, junior high, high school, college, and now in musical theater for the last number of years. So now this particular technique, however, 19 years, it'll be 20 years this fall. So you hope how I figure out how to see your comments. Well, Christina, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. I see it. So and so at E4 I must do falsetto. Um, this describes how this brings up a great question. What happens when you, let's say for the men, and exactly the same thing happens for the women as well. When you get to the bridge, what do you do? And if you, let me demonstrate what I used to do. Well, let me back up a little bit here because I'm getting a little bit off. There are four basic types of vocal type. The pull chest, high larynx is one. Number two, flip falsetto. Number three, light chest, no chest vocal type. And number four, mix. Sometimes we're a combination of these vocal types in reality, but usually there's one that dominates. So a vocal type is, in terms of the way I think of it, is really more about what's happening physiologically to the voice rather than how it sounds, okay? So, for example, in pull chest, high larynx, physiologically what's happening? You can guess. The larynx is going higher. That's why it's called the high larynx. Or the pull chest, the chest voice is being pulled up. Physiologically, what that means is the resonance from the chest voice is being pulled higher and higher. The resonant or the vocal cords themselves are in a chest coordination. That means they're thicker and heavier, and so they're not thinning as the pitch goes higher. So that's a physiological conditioning. For flip falsetto, physiologically, what happens? Well, the vocal cords are breaking apart in the falsetto. So they're not, at one point they're connected. Ah, and then they break into falsetto. Ah. And so physiologically, we describe the flip falsetto. You can hear the flip, so that's more or less of a sound. But physiologically, what's happening in the flip? That means that the chords are suddenly breaking apart. And the falsetto is they're not breaking, they're already apart. They're just apart. So they start out like that. The third vocal type, the light chest, no chest, physiologically speaking, is the vocal cords aren't coming together very firmly, either, especially in chest voice. So it could be very light chest voice, or it could be no chest voice at all. Or if they're bringing the falsetto down into the lower area, there's no chest voice there. So the light chest, no chest describes the condition of the vocal cords. They're very lightly connected, or they're not. There's no connection at all. They're in a state of falsetto, a state of disconnection. And then the mix is a combination. A mixed voice means that you're going from chest to head with the vocal cords staying connected, the larynx staying at your speech level, that is where you talk, if you talk normally, and the resonance is shifting up and down from chest to head and back naturally. Some of these questions I'm going to have to probably address here as I progress. So I'll get to those in a second because I want to give you a little bit more detail about my own background here. When I was in high school, I wanted to be the lead in the school play. And so I spent all my time focusing in on trying to become a good singer so that I could get the lead role. And I was fortunate enough to get the lead role. And here I am. This is my 16-year-old self. I got the lead role in our school play, Camelot. And so I was taking voice lessons. And I discovered while I was taking voice lessons that I couldn't sing very high at all. Now, fortunately, in King Arthur's the role of King Arthur, he doesn't have to sing very high, so it really wasn't a big problem there. But the next year, this is a party after the reception after our closing night. This is a life-changing experience for me, and so singing, being able to sing higher at this point wasn't as critical as it was the following year when we put on Carousel, and Billy Bigelow, the lead character, had an F above middle C. I couldn't sing that, and I knew I couldn't sing it, so I didn't even try out for that part. I tried out for another part and got it, Enoch Snow. But what I discovered was, as I sang higher, it sounded like, ah. It was just, it was so hard. And so I often was below the pitch, and if I tried to sing high, it would crack. Ah. And I just simply couldn't do that. Looks like my system is giving me lots of high CPUs, so I need to probably close something down here somewhere. Hopefully I don't lose this signal. Now, I would just stop at the E, and I just thought that was because my teacher told me that I was a bass, and we just sing everything below that. But what I tend to do when I've learned since that time that it wasn't the top of my voice, that was the first bridge. And so instead of just pulling the larynx up and pulling my chest voice up, I've learned that there's a way to get through it. So how I get through the first bridge, what my tendency is pull chest, high larynx. And so if you tend to flip, and that's a question that Christina asked, or someone else asked here, that what do I do then? Do I just break into falsetto at that E above middle C? And no, you don't have to do that. The technique that I teaches you how to get through the bridge. Well, now let me go on here. So why is a vocal type important? It's important so that you understand what you tend to do when you sing at the bridge. And so if you tend to flip into falsetto, then you don't want to do exercises that are going to put you into falsetto. You want to do vocal exercises that prevent you it prevents the larynx from popping up so that you don't crack in the falsetto. Or you want to do exercises that help you eliminate the thickness of the vocal cords so that you're able to transition from chest into head without pulling up the chest voice. So you want the exercises that you do to counteract what you tend to do when you go through the bridge. If you tend to go really light and breathy, you want to do exercises that are going to counteract that. So that's the reason why on my home screen, I'll show you this. Most of you probably have already seen the home screen, but I'm going to leave the comments for a moment here, and let me go to the home screen. On the home screen, I have a vocal test called the PowerTest because my site is Power to Sing. So there's a video. Oh, sorry. I realize I'm not live on that shot. Let me show that to you. Oh, you know what? I just realized that I haven't set that up. Just a second. So I have to pull up my Chrome, and I apologize for not having this done. And that way you can see what I'm talking about. And I think I'll keep my cursor there. Okay, all right, now this is the home screen of Power to Sing. There's a video here that explains how to do this. You record your voice while a piano plays, and you decide whether you're a man or you're a woman or a child, and you select that, and then it will play the piano for you while it records. And let me play this so you can hear it. Let me just get the sound up here. And okay, now this is what it sounds like. And you're singing ah, and you're singing an ah, 5-tone ah, and you record that, and then you listen to it, and you answer these questions. Does it feel like I'm straining or yelling, forcing my voice higher? And does it feel like there's something stopping my voice? And so on. Right on down the line, you answer these questions, submit your answer, put your email in, and it will email back to you your vocal type. So let's say that then your vocal type comes back as one of these 4 that I described. Pulled chest, high larynx is a very common one. You can go to the Knowledge Center on the website and watch videos all about your vocal type. Pulled chest, high larynx, light chest, no chest, lip falsetto, or mix. And you go to the pulled chest, high larynx, let's say, that's your vocal type. I explain everything about what it is. I give you specific exercises here, and I demonstrate those for you. And then I have examples of professional singers who actually pull their chest voice a lot, which is one reason why Adele had a hemorrhage a couple summers ago. She's pulling her chest voice all the time, and it's just too stressful on her voice. In fact, several of the people in here that I have examples of have had surgery because of pulling chest. Anyway, then there are downloads for you so that you can get exercises tailored just for the vocal type pulled chest, high larynx. And what does that do? Well, the pulled chest, high larynx exercises counteracts your tendency to pull the chest and raise the larynx. In the case of light chest, no chest, it gets the vocal cords together. In the case of lip falsetto, it keeps the larynx down so that you can get through this area with exercises, get through that bridge without flipping or cracking, or without falsetto. So that's the concept behind it. When you go to this screen, then you can click on the exercises and download them to your computer, and then you've got them to use and to practice. And it's great. Now, the whole reason behind that is so that the exercises that you use are going to really focus in on exactly what you need and not give you the wrong exercises that reinforces the fact that you're pulling your chest voice. If you're doing exercises and they're just reinforcing the bad habits, it's not going to help. But these exercises are going to counteract what we tend to do that isn't quite optimal for our voice. So, vocal type. Are there any? Let me just look at the questions here that we have and see if I can find any questions here that are pertinent to our conversation. Greetings from Romania. Hi. That's just so awesome. So you don't have to break when you're going up to the E4. You feel like you have to, but you don't. So what these exercises help you to do, if I were saying, oh, and I broke in the falsetto, I can learn how to do it without that. Well, I went up to the high A. I got to tell you, 20 years ago, when I first started. I was 43 years old before I learned how to do this. I would have thought you were crazy if you told me that I could ever sing in high A without going in the falsetto. And so this is you just learn, these exercises help you learn how to get through the bridge. Now, I'll tell you right now, I have a course that it's called Sing Higher Than Ever Before, and it's all about this major issue, that first bridge, and it's helping people get through the bridge. All right. So you don't have to sing through your bridge in falsetto. There's a way to keep the vocal cords together, and that's what's so phenomenal about this. If I said, the vocal cords stayed connected. They didn't break in the falsetto. I didn't pull. I pulled a little bit on the F, I realized, but I'm not pulling a chest voice. I'm not raising the larynx up. I'm not pulling a lot of weight. So I'm doing it without pulling the chest. I'm doing it without the high larynx. I'm doing it without the flip or falsetto. I'm doing it without going really light. Anybody can do that. Problem is, you can't hear it. So anyway, let me see. So the answer is no. You don't have to do it in falsetto, and you don't have to pull the chest voice. This technique will help you. Let's see. There's some other questions here. How can I increase my vocal range with specific tips? Yes. So I'll give you a tip. If you haven't taken the vocal test on the home screen, powertosing.com, as I showed a second ago, go take that vocal test, the PowerTest, get your vocal type, and it's very likely that you're one of these vocal types, and that's the reason why you're limited in your range. As soon as you're able to get through this bridge, look, I increased my range an octave. I mean, I can vocalize up to a high E. I don't know if I dare try and do that right now, but if I said, I don't know, I'd just be showing off, but that wasn't falsetto. That's head voice. My vocal cords didn't crack or break. I gained a full, I could go even higher. There's more than an octave that I increased once I learned how to get to the bridge. So that's my tip. Chuck, what made you want to keep singing despite the issues? I stopped. Singing. That's a great question. I got so discouraged that I changed my major in college. I did stay in the choir because I could always do choir, but I didn't feel like I could solo. My first love really was performing musical theater, and so for about 19 years I didn't sing a solo, and I had a real solo fail that really caused me to believe that I wasn't a soloist. I was so wrong, but I didn't understand my voice at the time. I didn't understand the bridge, and I didn't find out about it. So the story is, I had a daughter who was in 10th grade. She came home with a flyer, and she had a man from L.A. coming up to do a workshop. His name was Seth Riggs, and he taught Michael Jackson and all these big stars. So we went to his workshop, and I met one of his teachers, and within 6 weeks I was through my bridge. And the rest is history. So it's just so I would go to like musical theater and see a show, and you know what? My heart ached. Instead of being like inspired, I was like depressed because I wanted to be up on stage. I wanted to be there, and it was like, I just put it behind me. I had another career. My wife and I have 8 children, so I had a lot of responsibility to provide, and so as soon as I found out about this, everything changed. Within 6 months, I started auditioning for shows, musical theater, which is my first love, and over the last 19 years, I've done about 35 shows or so, and so it's like brought joy and happiness into my life. It's just changed everything. Not sure what the question is. How to take care of my voice. This is an important way. Know what your vocal type is and learn how to bridge, because then you don't pull it. You don't pull your chest. It's okay, Chuck. You're getting there. Thank you, Christina. Yeah, if you listen to Idina Menzel's performance at the Academy Awards, the last note on "Let It Go," or "Let It." Is that it? let it snow, let it go. This kind of pulls, and you can see her. She kind of bites her lip, like, it wasn't too hot. How can I work on better vowel placement? I'm not exactly sure. This technique, if you keep the vowel pure, in other words, if you look, a real simple answer is think horizontal vertical rather than horizontal. So most vowels can be helped a great deal, especially when you're practicing them, is to do them vertically. So I did a show, Man of La Mancha. I played the governor innkeeper, and he sings, "Hail, Knight of the Woeful Countenance," and that's his opening word. Well, hail can be quite wide. If I said, "Hail," it kind of splatted. So what I did, and it's right on the edge of my bridge, and at the time, I really couldn't start that note in my mix. I do it better now. "Hail, Knight," I can do that. But for this situation, all I did was I elongated my mouth, thought vertically, instead of "hail" wide, horizontally, I thought vertical. "Hail, hail, Knight, hail." And you could even practice it by "Hail, Knight of the Woeful Countenance." So if I just did that, then it helped me in the show. "Hail, Knight," and I was able to keep that from splatting. Now that's one quick, easy way to do it. There are other ways that, but the technique is pretty much self-placing. You don't have to place it someplace. I don't know how to tell you to place a vowel. I can tell you how to, I can give you demonstrations and give you exercises that will help you keep the vowel pure. For example, if I said, "No, no, no," no, 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 you can hear the vowel spreading. So what I would say is, instead of saying "na," "no, no, no, na, na," instead of letting the vowel to go to "na," open wide, you keep the vowel on "oo," put a little "oo" in the "o." "No, no, 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 no." And so that's how I address the vowels. And there's a lot more to it. It's just a longer answer. My favorite genre is musical theater. But within musical theater, there's a lot of different styles of music, isn't there? I mean, look at Big River. It's almost quasi-country, all the way to Phantom of the Opera, the American Phantom, Mari Yeston's Phantom. I love that. It's very operatic, and everything in between. So I would say probably, generally speaking, the musical theater genre with strong characters, I love. Christina, thank you. It's an exciting thing. You're 41, you're singing, starting to learn how to sing through your bridge, and it is life-changing. It really is. And thank you. I'm glad they're helping. Yeah, and good. I'll just read this. So I don't know if I guess other people can't see this. She says, "You inspired and helped me believe it is not too late for me to get involved and actually audition for community theater, musical theater roles instead of just working behind the scenes." Right. I have to say that pretty much now, there's not a musical role that scares me. I confess I'm probably not the greatest at pop, but I mean in terms of just the stylistic aspect of it, I can hit the notes, but the stylistic aspect. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's life-changing, and there's absolutely no reason why that we're limited in our voices. This basic principle that I've talked about today, the vocal types and getting through that bridge, is life-changing because it opens the pathway to your upper voice without having to pull chest, flip into falsetto, go light and breathy, and so forth. The fourth vocal type is mix, and periodically I have people take the vocal test, and they get the mix. They're naturally able to do it, and so I mix now, but I still always have to be aware that my natural tendency is to pull that chest voice and have the larynx go high. Yes. So I tend to sing. This is from Kenna. Rob, hi Kenna. I tend to sing with a lot of tension in my throat. There's something to stop this. The best exercise that I would say is if you can do this exercise, Kenna. If you said goo 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 goo, the goo separates the external muscles from the internal vocal cord muscles, and that is what is going to help you become aware of the tension and start to eliminate that. If you said goo 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 goo, you can feel the tension. You've got to let it go a little bit hooty, I call it. Goo 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 goo. And by gradually getting used to that new feeling, then the vocal cords are left to themselves to develop their intrinsic strength and power, which they can do. And in time, they will have the power that you used to try and force by pulling chest or yelling it or screaming it or belting it and so forth. But that's a quick answer to a process. It takes a little while. So, well, my theater is local here, Christina. I live in Utah, and it's a community theater. It's a beautiful facility, 520 seats. It's only 5 years old, the facility, and that's where I've done most of my shows. It's 7 minutes away from my home. It's so convenient. That's why I go there all the time. Yes, sorry, Christian in Italy, thank you for joining me. This video will be available for you to watch. Well, thank you very much. I've gone over just slightly. I was hoping for 30 minutes. We're at a minute, or 30 minutes and 34. We're at 34 minutes. So, in closing, I would say go to PowerTesting.com, take the vocal test, the power test, if you haven't. And I appreciate Christina's testimonial that it's already helping her get into her head voice. And so it's really can be life-changing. Those who become new subscribers to Power to Sing, if you just put your email in and so forth, I'll send you several welcome emails, and then I'm also will offer my new subscribers a discount on my course, Sing Higher Than Ever Before, and it's all about this first bridge. It's all about getting successfully through the bridge and into your head voice and being able to apply it into a song and so forth. So that's called Sing Higher Than Ever Before, and after you've been with Power to Sing for a few weeks or 10 days or so, then you'll get an invitation from me with an opportunity to purchase it at a discount. So thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon next week. Let me just double check here and try and get, how about singing blues? How about sing blues? Yes, singing blues is great. I'm not sure if that's a question or a statement, but yes, thanks, Christina. Thanks for joining me, and best of luck, everyone. You can always put comments at the underneath this video once it's living on YouTube. You can comment on that, and I can respond to the questions there too. Thanks very much, and all the best to everyone. Have a great day.